petition, and that is a student action committee at the UNC that's associated with the UNC Campus Y. The SWEP is called. It's an environmental justice committee that is focusing on environmental issues locally and abroad. And they are here today to present petitions to legislators on the issues that they're concerned about. We have 5 speakers. Caitlin is going to go first, followed by Neil, Shelby, Jasmine, and Brady. And they'll go in that order. And thank you for coming.
Good morning. I would like to thank everyone for coming out this morning in support of Student Voices. My name is Caitlin Seifert, and I'm a sophomore from UNC Chapel Hill and also from Greenville, North Carolina. I've grown up appreciating the uniqueness and diversity of our state, from the Down East culture to the lively triangle and everything in between and beyond that supports us and binds us. Something that I can presume we all have in common is an appreciation for the land and citizens of North Carolina. These two aspects, humans and the environment, are often portrayed being at war with one another. However, I know that we can work to protect society and culture while protecting the ecosystems around us. Not only is this possible, it needs to happen. We rely on nature and we are a part of it. As an environmental science student and a knowledgeable citizen, I'm keenly aware of the problems that our state faces and the environmental issues that we will be grappling for at least the next century. We students are at the forefront of new knowledge, research, and ideas. North Carolina is equally valued for its natural spaces as the research and educational institutions that innovate. We represent students from across North Carolina coming together to stand against environmental degradation, to create a positive legacy for North Carolina. We learn about environmental problems and solutions in the classroom, but we have noticed a mismatch between what we're learning, what we see in our home communities, and the decisions being made by our state government. We're determined to take action and to fight for our futures. I'm here today to ask my representatives to make decisions that will protect the integrity of our ecosystems, because I believe that the quality and sustainability of vibrant North Carolina communities depends on them. Thank you.
Hello everyone. My name is Neil, and I would first of all like to thank you for taking the time to listen to me, as well as other students from UNC Chapel Hill. I'm here talking as a member of UNC GlobeMed, which is a national organization focusing on the global public health and health equity around the world, working on building relationships that safeguard the health of people. In GlobeMed, we see fracking as a major health concern for communities within our state, and I wish to speak on that today. But I'm also coming to speak as a lifelong resident of Durham, North Carolina, who sees the potential for fracking to impact my own community, as well as those of my in-state classmates. Looking at the history of public health issues in and around the Rogers Road community of Orange County, I can see that my own locality is not impervious to severe health concerns, in this case an aquifer contaminated by chemical leaching from a waste facility. Because of this, I worry about what fracking will bring to our citizens, especially those in low-income regions of the state. In Pennsylvania, the McKellis family leased some of their land to fracking companies to make money. 2 weeks after the drilling began, the entire family began experiencing fatigue, nosebleeds, and vomiting. They were found to have measurable levels of benzene, a known carcinogen, in their blood. Before this, they had no idea that benzene was being used for drilling at the fracking site. In Colorado, when the children of Melissa Owen began developing severe blisters covering their entire body and nosebleeds, their family physician attributed their maladies to air pollution created by the fracking occurring in their community. The only advice he could give them was to move. I find it important to recognize that these events are not isolated and oftentimes cannot be prevented due to the undetectable nature of airborne toxins and the rapidity with which water supplies can become tainted. Currently, companies in this state are not required to release information regarding the chemicals they use in fracking, which are the chemicals that leak into aquifers and the air and the examples above. People cannot be informed what to look for in their own drinking water because nobody can tell them what contaminants might invade their water supplies. Whether in Pennsylvania, Colorado, or North Carolina, the public health threat of fracking is real and unavoidable. New York recognized this last December when they banned fracking entirely from their state. North Carolina is at a moment where we need to examine the real costs of increasing jobs within our state with fracking, when even the health workers are put in jeopardy. Why should North Carolina turn to this dangerous and unreliable source when there are clean, green options available that can also create jobs and entrepreneurial opportunity. What happened in Rogers Road is bound to happen again if we allow fracking in this state. We came today because we don't want to be another Pennsylvania or Colorado. We want to learn from our mistakes and keep North Carolina's water supplies healthy and free from risk for this foreseeable future. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Shelby Hammerstein, and I'm a student at UNC Chapel Hill. I'm from Garner, North Carolina, and I am so thankful to call this beautiful state home. As a child, my favorite place in the world was a stretch of forest very close to my house. We used to walk through the forest on our way to Lake Benson Park, which is a favorite park in my hometown of Garner. And that little forest would still be my favorite place, but it was leveled when I was about 12 to make room for a neighborhood that was 2 or 3 times the price of my own middle-class neighborhood. And losing that little patch of wilderness broke my heart, and as I see environmental degradation of all types across our state, my heart continues to break. Although environmental issues affect us all, they have a disproportionate impact on 2 groups of people: low-income families and young people, like the hundreds who have signed their name in support of us standing here today. Low-income families are limited by access to real food, housing, transportation, and are more likely to live near a factory or waste facility. Young people are going to have to live with the worst effects of climate change and other environmental problems, which we are only beginning to see now. We are here today representing all of these people. High school and college students across the state have added their name to our petition to defend our future, as well as the livelihood of low-income families whose voices are rarely heard. We would like to urge our legislators to join us and take action to protect the most vulnerable among us today, before it's too late. Economic development is a good and necessary thing, especially in an area that's growing as fast as Wake County and the rest of North Carolina. But we need to make sure that the development is sustainable socially and environmentally too. We can grow in ways that are environmentally just, and the issues we are standing here in support of today are a great place to start. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Brady Blackburn and I'm also a student at UNC Chapel Hill. I'm from Asheville, North Carolina, and growing up surrounded by the beauty of the mountains led me to study and pursue the preservation of our natural environment. One of the biggest misconceptions I hear about environmentalism is that a healthy environment and a healthy economy are mutually exclusive. We have to choose one or the other. The clean energy industry, especially here in North Carolina, is proof that we can have both. The industry is a rapidly growing part of our economy. Last year it made nearly $5 billion in annual gross revenue and was responsible for about 23,000 full-time equivalent jobs, approximately an annual growth of 25% since 2012, according to the North Carolina Clean Energy Industry Census. North Carolina's clean technology success is primarily seen in the building efficiency and solar technology sectors. They combine for 73% of the clean energy revenue and 68% of the industry's employment. According to the Solar Energy Industries Association, North Carolina currently ranks 4th in the nation in solar energy capacity with 953 megawatts, enough to power 104,000 homes, and solar system prices have dropped by 49% since 2010. This technology is becoming increasingly accessible. Solar energy is rapidly approaching grid parity, with average prices from small to medium-sized installations at around 12 to 30 cents per kilowatt hour, compared to rates of around 9.3 cents per kilowatt hour from Duke Energy. And with the introduction of battery storage systems that will allow us to harness solar energy even when the sun isn't shining, it is becoming feasible for people to rely on solar energy as a primary form of electricity. Even with this success, the clean energy industry is still young and growing, and it needs government support to reach its full potential. Our state government should make decisions based on what is best for the state as a whole, and as far as the economy is concerned, supporting clean technology would be very beneficial. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Sandrine Charles and I'm a student as well from UNC Chapel Hill, and one of the main reasons why I chose to go pursue my undergraduate studies here in North Carolina was actually after reading all of the Nicholas Sparks books, because they really truly describe the beauty of this state. I mean, in The Notebook, I was introduced to this beautiful lake-facing house, was surrounded by towering trees, and it welcomed annually migratory snow geese and tundra swans, and that's just amazing. I had never known about these creatures before. And then later in the last song, I got to see endangered sea turtles hatch over the summer on the beachfront. And the reason why I'm here really is because I want to make sure that I, along as all future tourists, get to visit these sites as described in these novels. I mean, North Carolina is full of beautiful historical and environmentally amazing places, and it's very alluring to tourists and also the cinematographic industry, and that's why we want to preserve our ecosystem. So we are taking a stand right now as students to voice our concern for great environmental issues that negatively impact our state ecosystem. They hurt marginalized groups and impede the state's sustainable development. We want the economy and society and health of the environment. We want you to know that all these three systems are interacted. And so when tons of coal ash spilled into the Dam River last year, levels of contaminant leach into our local water supply. Water is the most ubiquitous element in our lives. I mean, we bathe it in the morning, we use it to clean our stuff, and we use it to cook. So even though you don't care about all the organisms that perish because of the sludge that was released by the coal ash, you must care about the quality of your water and your access to it. And this is why we're here. We want to demonstrate that we care about these issues and we're determined to advocate for what we believe will secure us a livable, breathable, and prosperous future here in North Carolina. We hope that the representatives and senators will support our endeavor by signing on to an environmental justice legislative agenda. So, for all the reasons that you've heard us here today, my fellow student and I, we ask our representative to commit to support and consider the bill that promotes environmental justice towards meeting the following agenda the students put forth as top priority, including implementing the Healing Power Plan, increasing farmer market accessibility, expanding solar rights, reversing the approval of fracking, and cleaning up coal ash and properly citing the coal ash disposal. Additionally, to acknowledge that environmental issues are the forefront of minds of many North Carolina citizens, and to recognize that environmental issues are affecting North Carolina communities and will continue to threaten North Carolina communities. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Does anybody want to talk about the bills, any of the bills? Can you talk about 245?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so we just had a question about environmental bills, and Neil will comment on House Bill 245.
One of the environmental bills we've been focusing on back at UNC a lot is House Bill 245, the Energy Freedom Act. This bill legalizes third-party sales of energy, which gets rid of the government-mandated monopoly that Duke Energy has on the electricity industry. It'll open up the industry to third-party sales, specifically from solar farms or solar leasing. Allow companies to come in and create these farms and sell directly to the consumers. This is great because it gets rid of a lot of the initial price of solar, which is one of the biggest barriers to its implementation. If a company comes in, puts in the infrastructure, creates the solar farm, then they can sell at a flat rate to consumers. Consumers can buy that energy, and with solar energy approaching grid parity, this is a great prospect for North Carolina and has a lot of potential to provide us with a lot of economic benefit, a lot of jobs, and competition in the industry.
Great. Thank you very much. Any other